live with Otto.
You are
Greetings, everyone, from Earth or Cybertron, or wherever it is you're from. Welcome to SciFest 2020
Yes.
Coronavirus Edition. Yeah. So how's everyone doing?
Well, we're doing good. It's been a pretty successful day so far. So,
Oh, that's good. I actually, admittedly, have not been able to catch any of the previous casts. I'm actually at American Lake at a boat launch. And I'll be sharing my items via pictures I've taken on my screen. That's cool.
that works for us.
So we've got it there. We've got Liz, we've got Ben. Did I miss anyone else that's over there?
Jason. But they're the ones monitoring the Twitch chat and stuff like that. So Jason's going to be taking notes for anybody who's interested in buying stuff. So if somebody's interested in buying it, I will say this person wants to claim such and such figure. That way, anybody who's watching knows that figure is no longer available. At the end of the stream, Jason will email you all the information of the buyers so that you don't have to go back through a chat.
Okay, cool. So shall we begin?
We shall.
And I'm assuming you can see my screen. I can't see what you're seeing necessarily. I'm just seeing my own screen.
I can see the blaster with Rumble. Yes, that's the blue one, Rumble, with blasters and sound waves, and so.
Okay. All right, so let's start the show.
Okay.
All right. Oh, hold on, I gotta tell my buddy here. Is it tied up at the dock?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, sorry. I'm on a podcast right now, so
okay.
I'll join you guys shortly. Sorry.
Any security?
Yeah, thank you. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming to my selling slot. I actually don't have too much, as I normally would in the past. So right here, we're starting with a third-party items by Keith's Fantasy Club, aka KFC Transistor. It's a masterpiece style blaster. This happens to be the metallic version. Oh, I'm going back into my band. Sorry, I'm in a parking lot. Forgive me. Yeah, this is masterpiece blaster, metallic version. He's like a deep metallic red. It's actually 2 layers. So it's sprayed on as a metallic chrome underneath, and then a clear red on top. It makes for a really beautiful finish. I actually have 2 versions of these that I have owned. The other one is just a plain orange plastic. So this is actually kind of a higher end looking version. I decided to just simplify and go with the plastic version. So this is for sale. It has been opened, but it is complete. So pictured here, he's holding 1 blaster in his hand, but he actually comes with 2. And Rumble blue, and the mini blaster is not included. It's just for part of my pictures that I was recreating the G1 commercial out of. And you can see, it looks like here next to official Masterpiece Soundwave, they look really great together. They're about the same height, and they do sport the same Masterpiece cassette size, so their cassettes could fit in each other interchangeably. Blaster, much like Soundwave, has a spring-loaded inner chest, so you can fit up to 3 mini cassette tapes in his chest. He's very posable. Now, this is the metallic version, which is the version 2, I believe. You'll notice his buttons across his chest are in black plastic, as opposed to later versions, which came in silver. So make note of that. And also his hip flaps on this version are actually not existent. So he can only do about a 45-degree angle thigh bend, as opposed to later versions, which had movable flaps and could do a full 90-degree hip bend. So just make note of that in case you want to make a decision between getting this version or other versions. Really, the main draw to this version is his metallic red luster, which I really love. But I've actually bought this version and the other version back and forth several times, and so this is my umpteenth time reselling this version and keeping the plastic version, which I wouldn't doubt if I went back and did it again next time. But he's really beautiful. He doesn't have any die-cast parts that I can tell. So I think he's all plastic. He may have some small die-cast parts, like on the inner skeleton part, but don't quote me on that. And he does have a box, or you can have him loose if you don't care about the box. Either way, I'm hoping to do a local drop-off if you're in the Pierce County area, or if I happen to be up in the Tequila, Renton area up by the mall, and we can do a pickup. Otherwise, I can do shipping. It looks like I priced them this morning at, well, I think $120, but I will accept $100 if we do a in-person pickup. If you want it shipped loose without the big giant bulky box, I will do a $10 flat shipping fee. If you want the box, it'll probably be closer to $20, and if it's any less than that, I'll refund you the difference if you want the box. I forgot to mention he comes with, now this one I can't remember, the black and white guy. Is that rewind or eject? You guys remember? Ben?
Eject.
Anybody?
I think the blue one's rewind.
Okay, yeah, he comes with eject, which is pictured here. He has gold guns, and he actually comes with two faces. He has a kind of a face-plated one, and then did I picture the other one? The other one has a faceplate too, but it's just a different design. I may have not taken a picture of it. The other cassette bots are not included. They're just in the pictures for comparison. You can see his height compared to G1 Blaster is relatively the same, and the mini cassettes are actually almost the same in general. And that's what it looks like if you get all three of them. There is a rewind available out there somewhere, but he's not included in this. So it's just Blaster, two guns, and eject.
Well, it looks like I took this picture before I received eject, so I guess that's rewind.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, sorry. It's a correction then. What I'm selling will just be Blaster and Rewind, the black and white colored mini cassette guy. Here pictured next to Rumble for reference. And two guns, and then a box if you want to pay extra for the box shipping, or if I'm meeting you in person, then I just throw in the box with it. Does that sound good for my first item, guys?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's very detailed.
All right. I'm kind of filling out the space too, and kind of doing a mini review and informing would-be buyers on the differences between this version and other versions available, in case they would want to make an informed decision on what to buy. But it's a good deal, $100 plus $10 shipping, or $120 with the box, or no shipping if we meet up in person. I'm in Tacoma, by the way, but I'll go up as far as Tequila, Renton on a weekend. All right. Any questions?
Nobody questioned. Somebody asked what the scale was, and it's masterpiece, so I said that.
Is that it?
Yep.
Okay. If anyone wants to view these items, assuming they haven't been purchased yet, they are available to just look at right on my Facebook page. Can I plug that? Is that okay?
Yeah.
You can find me on Facebook. Just type in Atto Kempler. That's my, let's see. Yeah, if you can see here in the top left corner, that's how you can find me, Atto Kempler. Just so guys, in case everyone's curious, that's actually my full first name. I have a two-part first name. It's kind of like, like Mary Jo or Billy Bob. Atto Kemper's actual full first name. So it's confusing because you see Atto Madrid. Madrid is my last name. So
Oh, see, I always just know you as Otto. I know you had a last name, but it's like Madonna or Cher.
or I'm the fan formerly known as Otto. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for my first item there. KF2
Right.
transistor blaster. All
We're
right.
at about 12. We got about 12 minutes left, so
Okay,
you set the
that's good.
pace. If
Good to know. Next up here, I've got a full set of official Takara Masterpiece Seekers. That's Starscream, Skywarp, and Thundercracker. And just so you know, for reference, $300 is a really good deal because at one point Skywarp himself went for $400 or more, and which I sadly did pay. This is a beautiful set. I've basically only transformed each one of them maybe once or twice. Starscream maybe 4 or 5 times. And they just sit on my display. I'm selling them because I have the original versions, which I keep in jet mode. And then I also have the Make Toys versions, which are about to probably become obsolete with the new versions coming out. But $300 is a pretty good deal. It's basically
a great
$100
deal.
each. They not pictured here, but they come with most of their accessories. I have to say up front, I'm not sure if I have the pilots that go with each of them, the little translucent Dr. Archiveals that are supposed to come with them.
Well, somebody would like to claim all 3 of those seekers, so
okay,
boom,
we've got a sale. Please just if you have Facebook, you can message me and let me know you're the person, or I guess I'll confirm that with admin.
Jason will shoot you the information.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right. Oops. I'll just show the rest of the pictures so you can go ooh ah and anticipate what you're gonna get. And shortly, and leave me what arrangements that they want to do for pickup or shipping. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention. So for these ones, since they are bigger, I do have the boxes with them. So they're huge. So $10 is not going to be enough to ship 3 Seekers. So hopefully we can do a meetup because I fear shipping is going to be huge to ship 3 of these boxed.
They've said they've messaged you, so
okay.
So you can work that out kind of after your panels.
Okay.
You're still planning on doing the voice panel thing?
Yeah, and I'm sorry I didn't get to communicate with anyone on this, but and also seeing how quickly time goes by, even just for this, I'm gonna just focus and forgive me on Peter Cullen and his character.
Oh, sure.
Not multiple characters across different universes. It won't be enough time.
Sure, no worries.
Okay, so that's the Seekers.
All right.
We made a sale. All right. Up next is official Takara Dominator Unicron. He is complete. He has all of his missiles and his little planet guy. What's his name? Orbulus? No.
Dead End?
No.
That was the U.S. version.
They named him after one of the 2 guys that got dropped in the Sharktacon pit first.
Arbulus or Kranix?
Kranix. Yeah, he does come with Kranix. He's just not in the. Oh yeah, he is in the pictures. He's on his orbital ring there. So this is official Takara. He's complete. Has all I think 6 or 8 missiles. Oh, 6 missiles, and his chest missile projectile. It's really cool. This is the Takara version. Even though there is the Amazon version, which is pretty screen accurate, the colors on the Takara version are very screen accurate. They're bright orange and beautiful light gray. He looks great in both planet mode and robot mode. You can see Kranix right there in moon mode attached to the ring up there and inside of his hand. His electronics do work. His eyes light up green and his hand, I believe, lights up red. his chomping incisors in planet mode, spring loaded, and do work. And he's got that unique sculpt. I think the Amazon release may have the same sculpt. I'm not sure, but just for anyone that doesn't know, this is different than the original Armada version. So yeah, he's really beautiful. The only reason I am selling him is because I was one of the lucky people that got in on the official giant Hasbro one that's coming up from HasLab, whenever that is. But you can see how he looks with Cyberverse figure, Galvatron, third-party Galvatron. He doesn't have a box, so he is loose. My asking price right now, I believe I said, is $150. And shipping for him I'll just make it a flat $10, even though he's probably really heavy. Or a local meetup. Do we have any questions from any of the viewers?
Nope.
All right. Looks like I got 10 minutes left?
You got about 6 minutes, but since you're doing the panel next,
Okay.
a little bit over, that's fine.
All right. I'll speed up a little bit. Here we've got official Takara. Oh man, what do you call him again now? God, help me out here, guys. Super God Ginrai. Super God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is
right.
He is composed of God Bomber and Super Ginrai or Ginrai. It's Optimus Prime and Wing Saber, or is that his name? Yeah, Wing Saber. Yeah. Sorry, guys, I'm getting old. Anyways, this is no frills. He doesn't have any like add-on parts or anything. These just all the parts that come with them. I do have him transformed in my own fan mode version, so that his wings have better wingspan. It's pretty cool. He's complete. He only comes with his Prime Headmaster and the God Bomber Headmaster. He does not come with Minerva or the other guy who I don't remember. Just the headmasters that go to their respective separate robot modes. And he's I listed at $125. It's really cool. That's
asking what the background is from the orange.
Oh, there's a third-party company. Originally was TFC, or was originally Toy World, and now it's something else. Zeta. These background panels come with a lot of their robots, and they puzzle together. You can piece them together to make any configuration you really want. You can also buy them separately at some retailers, including our own. I think Toy Dojo might sell them. I think in packs of 2 for $20 or something like that. Don't quote me exactly, but it's around there. You can also buy them individually for around $8 or $10. I think. I happen to have like 30 of them, so they make for a good background. Yeah, and if you're looking for them, you can ask around. Some people don't want theirs. It comes with their individual robot because one panel doesn't really do them much good. So that's that. $125. Look a pickup. I'll do $10 flat shipping on that as well. No box, I think. Well, actually, I may have the boxes. I'll throw those in for free if it's a local pickup. Any questions on that guy?
No.
All right. On to the next. So here, now these pictures, I'm sorry if they're confusing. This originally was a comparison shot between Hasbro and Takara. To make it more simple, if it's hard to decipher, Takara is on the right and the Hasbro is on the left. I'm selling the Takara. These are the Takara Henkei Specialist Seeker jets. And what makes them different than previous jets, they have a beautiful, pristine paint job. Actually, I'm wrong. On these individual shots, the Takara is on the left. So here we have the Takara Skywarp is on the left here. And not to be confused with previous Henkei releases of the Seekers, which had chrome weapons. These ones do not have chrome weapons, but have a more screen-accurate paint job. and consistent paint job between them. Like they all have the same pattern of line striping, not like the old ones that have different stripes. So we've got Skywarp here, Thundercracker here, and Starscream. Yeah, you can see the painted parts are kind of metallic-y, shiny. Look really nice. There's no flaking or stress marks on any of the plastic on my copies. I don't transform them. And also not pictured here, they have their stock null rays, which are huge, but I also will include third-party Dr. Wu null rays, which are like smaller scale to look the right size on their arm, instead of looking like giant cannons. So throwing those in there. Those are these ones are the Hasbro, and then these here are the Takara.
And the ones you're selling are the Takara, correct?
Takara on the bottom, right there. Those are what are for sale. I do have the box. They are complete with instructions and inserts and tray. Box is in really good condition. So I think, what did I say? Asking price $150 for the set. It's pretty rare, but I am taking into account that the new Siege or Earthrise Seekers kind of like make these apps obsolete for some people, but they're still really nice. They're Takara and they're very exquisite pieces. So I might go tiny bit lower, but 150 or whoever gives me the closest best offer on that. And again, shipping will be $10 flat or free if we meet up in person. And then not pictured here, but I also have the cone heads. Same story, and I wasn't able to get pictures of them in time. I have cone heads for the same price, $150, or best offer closest to that, $10 shipping. They come with the box and everything. I wish I had pictures of it. Any questions?
No. Were
okay.
I
had posted
together.
Say again.
Were the Coneheads and the original Seekers, are they the ones that were in the packs that fit together?
Yeah. They build a full diorama picture, or not diorama, but yeah, the pictures stick together, make a bigger one. Yeah. Was that it?
That was it. Those.
Okay. Yeah, if you're interested, let me know. And then I'm gonna skip over these because I'm deliberating. These are my custom Insecticons that I made. I think I'll keep them. I put a lot of work into those, so
They look really awesome.
It's hard to let go. Up next is G1 Skylynx. He is loose, so no box. His motor and electronics do work. He sadly though is missing one Autobot symbol on his wing. I think I put another one on there, but it doesn't match exactly. Omega is just there for scale. The Lynx part works okay. It's not worn at all. I mean, it's there's some slight sticker peeling maybe. It's not showing up in the pictures, but he's pretty clean. He's not yellowed. I'd say if you use the old C10 kind of rating, he's probably like C8.
And that's not the Encore, that's the original, right?
Yeah, original. So it's old. So be aware.
It looks amazing condition for being like 33 years old or whatever now.
Yeah. So he's fun, but I have the I think it's Make Toys or MMC version, Mastermind Creations version, and I have the newer Hasbro version. So he's no longer my stand-in for my Chug collection. So I don't need him. And I didn't put a price on him. I think. Let's see. Oh, I guess I put $70. $70 local pickup or $10 shipping. And did I eat up all my time now? I think.
You can go a couple more minutes, but if you're ready to move on to the next panel, you can, since you're doing that one as well.
All right. I think I'll take the time to plug in here. So I will be doing some, not just screen sharing, but also video sharing. And on Zoom, the way that works, I have to plug this in through my stereo so it comes out. Not is
Somebody
a
would
full.
like to claim the G1 Skylinks.
Okay, cool. So
So
just
we'll get you that information.
awesome. Thank you. Excellent. Thank you again, everybody. So I guess that leaves the seekers. I don't think anyone claimed those, right?
And I recall.
Seekers, we've got Ginrai and Unicron, and no one wanted Blaster yet, right? Yeah.
Not that I recall, no.
Yeah. So that's what I got left. I'll leave them up on my page in case anyone wants to go back and revisit those and make a decision or shoot me some kind of bargain offer or something. But thanks again, everyone, for looking all of at my items. Again, you can view them and other items at my webpage or Facebook page by looking up my name, Otto Kempler, or I guess you can find me as Autobot Prime, spelled using my actual name spelling, not the Autobot spelling. All right, so let me transition over.
Okay. And we'll link your posts onto our schedule so that people can find it that way as well.
We are live.
Right. Welcome, everyone, to my next segment here. Thank you, Cypfest, Ben, and Liz, and Jason over there for helping me and get this last minute panel in on the slot. I figured I should say something about the thing that is dearest to me in the Transformers, and that would be, of course, as everyone knows, the character played by Peter Cullen, which is Optimus Prime. I originally was going to do this as a panel on voiceovers in general across the Transformer universes, but I realized, or I decided it would be better to focus on. So, just a little background, just quickly on myself. I am a kid of the 80s, and I am the stereotypical Transformers latchkey kid fan that they've talked about that watched Prime die. Spoilers for anyone that hasn't watched the 86 movie yet. uh, who was devastated by Prime's death. Um, I grew up as a oldest son of a single mom with no father figure in the household, and the character of Optimus Prime that Peter Cullen embodied really definitely was a sort of a stand-in father figure for me growing up. And that's something I wanted to talk about. Peter Cullen has done Optimus Prime, obviously, and other people have done Optimus Prime in their own version, and many people, myself included, have tried to also imitate Peter's version of Prime. But I wanted to delve a little deeper into the character behind the character that's responsible for why this means so much, why Optimus Prime means so much to a lot of people, myself included. Um, and I want to be able to play different clips, but I think it's going to be too hard to relay between everyone, so I'm just going to go over it. I think most people have seen a lot of this, but a lot of people may have seen clips of Peter Cullen describing how he made the character of Optimus Prime, or his voice. Are you guys aware of that? Have you seen that clip, Ben or Jason or
Um,
Liz?
I am, and I think, but I've been to BotCons and stuff like that, so there's a good chance that he talked about that kind of stuff at BotCon, but not everyone uh, who's watching may have heard those stories.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I wish I could play the clip from him, but I think it'll be hard. So I can summarize.
Yeah, go for it.
uh, so Peter Cullen has a brother, an older brother, or had an older brother named Larry Cullen, who was 13 months older than him. And not only was he 13 months older, but he was also, I believe, like a foot and a half taller. He was a captain of the football team. He went off to college. He went off to war. He was a soldier. And he basically was Peter Cullen's idol and mentor, and the person that he looked up to the most. He was, and Peter Cullen describes in many interviews how he went to the casting to be Optimus Prime, and it was a truck. He didn't know exactly how to do it, so he asked his brother Larry, and Larry told him in a very calm and commanding voice that he said, "Peter, don't be a hero. Don't try to be a superhero that comes out there and saves the day." He said, "Have the strength to be strong and the humility to be humble," something like that. And Peter Cullen, he took his older brother's words to heart, and he basically uh, based that character off of the ideals that his brother represented, which is the same ideals that Optimus Prime: solidarity, humility, being humble, respectful, having concern for life and those that are weaker than yourself, and putting others before yourself, and being willing to put yourself
in the line of fire to protect the people that you care about. And it's those ideals, those emotions that Peter Cullen brought with him to the character of Optimus Prime, and then later on, his brother ended up passing away, and so whenever Peter Cullen tells that story, you know, most audience, we get really still, and you can feel the emotion behind it, and you can definitely hear it behind his voice every time he voices Optimus Prime, and it's come to a lot of people, myself included, like to try to copy Peter Cullen's version of Prime, and many people have said eventually, um, you know, someone will have to take his place. And I think the key to creating another Optimus Prime voice is not imitating Peter Cullen, but doing Prime in a way that embodies those ideals, whether or not your voice actually sounds like Peter Cullen, you know. And I think that's where some of it goes missing when we hear other voices do Prime, because they're focusing on imitating Peter Cullen's voice timbre and cadence, but they're not necessarily holding the ideals that Peter Cullen has emotionally set inside the character, inside himself, because that's what a real actor does. They connect with the character on a personal level, and they bring forth their feelings, their emotions, and they put meaning into it, what it means to them, into the character, and that translates over to the audience. And that's one of the reasons why the character of Optimus Prime back in the 80s until now, resonates deep within a lot of us fans, especially, like I said, a lot of us latchkey kids that grew up in single families, um, and may have not had a strong father figure in our life. Um, Peter Cullen's representation of Optimus Prime filled that role and continues to fill that role. And I have nothing but the utmost respect for Peter Cullen and his performance and his dedication and sincerity that he has in his delivery and his connection to the fan base. So I really appreciate that. I wish I could go to BotCon or one of those cons where I can meet him. I haven't met him yet. So
There was a question that came in. How do you feel Cullen's Prime has changed over the years between G1 and then doing stuff like Prime and the movies and I believe the video games as well?
yeah. Well, definitely, there's a huge change. I mean, even when I was a kid and I heard Prime's voice, obviously he was physically younger, the actor himself, and his early episodes, he based it more. It was based off of his brother, but it had, so he was spunky. And he contractions like won't or can't, but later versions of Prime are very stoic, almost emotionless. He cannot speak with contractions, like I will not. He won't say won't. He's very formal, uh, and I think a lot of that has to do with when the character of Prime was brought back to the screen through the Bay films. Peter Cullen didn't just make the voice the way he wanted. Michael Bay gave him new direction because he wanted the movie to have a less cartoony feel. He wanted it to have kind of a more serious, sort of adult themed feel. And I've seen clips of Bay redirecting Peter Cullen to like say the line slower and more gravelly, and of course in other scenes more angrily. And that's obviously carried over into Transformers Prime, where Transformers Prime is kind of an offshoot. They made the aesthetic look similar to the movie verse, so that it could transition over fans and younger fans to the TV series. So Peter Cullen kept a lot of that movie verse version in Transformers Prime, but I think he brought back a lot of the humility with it, and he's not angry as much, like in the Bay films. He's not ripping anyone's face off or anything. And I've seen footage of Peter Cullen. People have asked him directly, what does he think of the new version of Prime's character that he's been asked to play? And in some of the interviews, he hasn't sugarcoated it. He doesn't like it. He didn't like it at all. So it strays a lot from his original version that embodied the ideals that were dear to him. But you can see him. I notice he brings a lot of it back in other versions of Prime where it's not governed by Michael Bay. So a little bit in the video games, like Fall of Cybertron, War for Cybertron. I honestly can't mention. I can't think of any other stuff yet besides, he was in Rescue Bots and
Yeah, he did do Rescue Bots.
yeah, you could tell he brings back his original version a little bit more when he can, if someone's not telling him to change it. If you want to play that clip there that we have queued up, he talks a little bit about how different he had to do his voice in the latest Bumblebee movie on the later half of the clip. But we can go ahead and play that whole clip if you want.
I think that's on you, Jason.
Yeah, that next clip, it's a recent clip at, is it Comic-Con or BotCon? I forgot now. We'll see that.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
You guys are excellent. Your voices are so iconic.
Thank you.
How do you guys feel about other actors taking on that role to sound like you guys?
You know, it's funny. It's kind of an unwritten law in the business that we come from, and when we grew up in the business, is you just don't do that. You know, we never take over anybody's voice who can't do it themselves.
Right.
We just don't do it. But
Yeah, it's grand theft. Yeah, that's happening now with Netflix. They're going to produce a Transformer series, but they're not going union, and we work in our union. That's what protects us all as actors. When other guys go underneath that, and they literally are they're destroying the union from outside. It's subterfuge. It's just it's wrong. It's wrong. But that's what's going to happen with this series. There'll be somebody else doing Optimus Prime, and that hurts. That hurts. Yeah, don't let it happen.
Yeah.
Get on Netflix. They're bad. That's not nice.
But ultimately, we do everything for you. So you're the audience. You're the power. So what you want will ultimately be the end. So you decide what you want, and hopefully it's good.
Thank you. I'll give you an example. The Bumblebee movie, they hired another person to do me for during the production, and then they were going to bring me in for one day because they didn't want to pay me, for any more than they had to. So this guy worked for 3 or 4 months, and when I came in, they had actually recorded this guy, and I had to impersonate him, impersonating me. And his timing was wrong, and his inflections were wrong. He didn't know how to drag a vowel, or he didn't know how to make Prime sincere. So he'd skip over the things that did, and I went, wow, this is horrible. But I had to mimic him because they had already animated to his sound. And that's why he doesn't come across all that great in the movie. The long shots I'm okay on, but the close-up stuff, if you watch that movie, you'll see I was sickened by it. That hurt.
Yeah, so you can see there, I was actually pleasantly surprised that I would have assumed that Peter and Frank would have felt obligated to, like, even if they weren't gonna say anything good, I I thought they would have tried to, like, just not said anything at all, considering they, they still represent Hasbro. But I'm kind of glad that they didn't hold back and they just told it like it was, because basically, long story short, is like Hasbro wanted to save a buck. Instead of hiring them through union, they had some other people do it. And no offense to those new voice actors, a lot of them are YouTube folks, including Jake Couché, who end up being the current Prime on what is it, the Netflix show.
War for Cybertron.
Yeah, War for Cybertron. And by the way, I know no panel's really covering that, so I can kind of mention a little bit of here. No spoilers.
No
though.
spoilers.
No spoilers.
Yeah. Nothing you can't see anyway in the trailer, but I saw other clips of Cullen, and actually I saw a commentary from Gary Chalk. He said he watched the first episode. His comment on Facebook was, "So I watched the first episode of the Netflix series, and dot dot dot." I thought it was kind of hilarious. I've seen other clips where Peter and Frank were saying that the voices just sound like, they lack emotion, no inflection, and it does kind of come across like that for me, at least from a audible aesthetic. I'm not critiquing the storyline or anything like that, but from an audio perspective, I tried to watch actually all the episodes last night in preparation for this, and quite honestly, I could barely get through the first episode. The visuals are nice. It's clean graphics. It's beautiful. It's really great to see G1 style Transformers on the screen again, and the action scenes look pretty good. But yeah, the voice acting, not just Primes, but voice acting, you could tell they were fellow amateurs like myself. they didn't have, even if they had a great voice timbre or voice quality, they didn't have that emotion behind the character that real seasoned actors like Cullen and Welker, inject into their performances. And so it was lacking for me, and just audibly speaking, I told my brother, I said, I could watch this on mute. It's fun to just watch Transformers on screen doing their stuff. But
you have about 3 minutes left, Otto, just to let you know.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a question for you, though. Do he was talking about somebody filling in on set and doing the voice for him, and then he came in and did. Do you know by chance who it was?
I believe it was John Bailey.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, John Bailey does a lot of great voices. He does.
Yeah.
And he did do Shockwave in that movie, and I think he did
Soundwave. Yeah.
And those were pretty convincing. I heard those. But I think they had... Yeah, I personally, no offense to John Bailey, but I don't think his prime, whether he's imitating Cullen or trying to embody the character, it doesn't do it for me personally.
Yeah.
And for the same reasons, I could see how it would bug Cullen himself, because he's like,
it is kind of hurts to, if he was the one who did it, to have someone who you look up to and admire basically kind of trash their performance.
Yeah.
I bet that kind of hurts, but.
Yeah, well, when I heard that, I was like, man, I'm glad it wasn't me, because everyone knows, I fancy myself a would-be Prime impersonator, and it would be a dream to get called upon to do one of those, actually I threw in an addition reel to the Combiner Wars series, but I didn't get any response from it, and then John Bailey ended up getting that one. So I'm kind of glad it wasn't me, because if Peter Cullen was saying that and that was me, I'd be like, oh, kill me now. Yeah.
All right, we've got about 1 more minute left, and then we'll have to wrap it up.
All right, so thanks everyone for watching and hearing my thoughts on Peter Cullen's version of Prime. Like I said, the character and Cullen himself, they mean a lot to me personally, and I know they mean a lot to a lot of fans. especially kids that grew up back in the 80s, and probably a lot of kids now too. Especially if you watch, G1 was a really wholesome type of cartoon. They had those PSA public messages and whatnot. So those were the days, and I'm hoping that they can bring a lot of that kind of genuine care for the fans back to the fandom, back to the franchise. So on that note, are we out of time now?
We're out of time. Thank you, Otto, for joining us and contributing the panel and doing your sales thread.
Sure.
We really appreciate it.
You let me take us out on one humor me on one line.
Go for it.
All right. Autobots, transform and roll out. Prime out.
Solid. Nicely done, sir.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for
All right.
everything you guys do.